The following program is presented to the people of Florida by the Florida Cable Television Association and the Storer Broadcasting Company. Stay tuned, for this is Florida House. Washington is a city of unique attractions. It has the well-known institutions, the White House, the Congress, the Supreme Court, the monuments to great presidents, Embassy Row, and Florida House, the first and only facility of its kind. Sort of an embassy in its own right, an embassy for the people of Florida. Florida House is a converted rooming house located a block and a half east of the Capitol at East Capitol and Northeast 2nd Street. It dates back to the 1800s. Purchased, renovated, and operated through private contributions, it opened in October 1973. Since then, over 40,000 Floridians have visited the facility and used its services.
I'm so glad you came. Where are you from?
Miami.
Miami. Oh, and you? I'm Sarah Shrona, the hostess, one of the hostesses here. Just delighted to have you. And welcome to your home away from home. And would you sign our guest book, please? Thank you. We are just delighted that you're here. We have all sorts of services we can render. If you wish to see Washington, we tell you where to go, what to see, what to do. We plan tours. We are primarily an educational center. We have all types of programs. You might be interested in joining some of them. The reception room here, we'd like you to go in, just make yourselves at home. But most of all, we'd like you to just linger in Florida House, to come and go and come and stay.
Florida House is an educational, informational, and hospitality center for Floridians. It welcomes those who just drop in. Its staff can assist in the advance planning of a trip to Washington. A driving force in the creation of Florida House and its current volunteer president is Mrs. Rhea Childs, wife of Senator Lawton Childs.
If you drive down Embassy Row and you see a foreign embassy for every foreign country represented here in the capital of the United States, it seems to me the next question is, why don't the people who own this government have a place where they can go? And if every state could have a place, such as Florida House, to serve the people who are actually this government, we at Florida House, because we serve so many people, can do for you often what the individual cannot do for himself in the way of getting reservations, and we also provide a reference resource for you, in that if you wanted to know where to stay, or if you want to know what is happening in the Congress or in town or in the theater or whatever, we can provide all that information. We are your home away from home and your office away from office, and we're family, helping you as you come here to visit.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Owen, I found the hotel list for you. You said you didn't have a place to stay while you're here.
Well, great.
And we have many hotels. Some are in the district and some are in Virginia or Maryland, so it just kind of depends on where you'd like to stay, depending on...
Oh, we'd like to be close in, because we would certainly prefer to spend our time on the things that are around the Capitol and the White House.
Like to walk.
Yeah.
Very good. And you did bring a car with you, isn't that
No.
right?
No.
So,
No.
all right, fine. This will be much more convenient then.
No, we didn't.
That gives me a good guideline, because these are all hotels in the general Capitol Hill area. Then under here on this page, these are hotels near the White House area, and there are some different areas under here. These are in the northwest section over by the embassy, so you can just take your pick. This is just a blow-up aerial view of the general Capitol Hill area and some of the Smithsonian buildings, etc. Now here we are right back here behind the Supreme Court. Now the Supreme Court is a lovely place to eat lunch, and you can take tours through there. This time of the year, if the court is in session, you can go for that. Over here, right catty-corner from us out the window, is the Library of Congress, which is lovely to see too.
Yes.
There are many, it's a beautiful building inside, as well as many important printing things inside there, Gutenberg Bible and the rough draft of the Declaration, etc. So you might enjoy that. Now your representatives are very close. They're within walking distance right over here, and both of your senators are right over here on the other side of the street.
This is the House wing over here, and this is the Senate.
Yes, you're right.
And this is the office.
Right. Now, since you're interested in going to Capitol Hill, let me give you this special map with Florida House on the other side, but this is just the Capitol Hill area. Now, as you see, here's Florida House again. Here are the the representatives' offices and the senators' offices. Now, when you go to pick up your passes, you can just take the little subway from their office right over to the Capitol, and that's fun to do because you never know who you'll see on the subway.
That old rooming house on Capitol Hill was purchased for $125,000. It cost another $120,000 to renovate it and turn it into Florida House. The annual operating budget exceeds $60,000. Its staff consists of a director, 2 receptionists, and part-time clerical help. As director, Mike Mullen must see that the house runs smoothly and economically. And because all expenses are met from private contributions, he must see that Florida House continues to win friends and financial backers.
The family that really is the backbone to give us the operating expenses. Their $10 to $50 contributions to keep us going.
And are those flowing in regularly, or?
Amazingly so. It's an amazing thing. Now people are taking a sense of pride that they are showing that you can do without federal funds and so forth. And either they've used the house and they contribute, or they heard about it and they send in their check. And everybody who contributes gets their name. Anybody who contributes $10 has their name listed on a big contributors board as acknowledgement for their contribution.
Obviously, in the past, there have been some bleak days financially. How does it look on the horizon?
Yeah, we were counting the $2 and paying out 10. It looks much better thanks to the people in Florida. You know, and it's thanks to, as I like to call them, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Floridian that send us the $20 and the $30, because not only does that mean a lot to them, but they'll go tell their neighbor. You know, they'll spread the word, and they have a vested interest. $10 is a lot of money, and they're the ones that keep us going. And of course, we still have to have the $100 and the $1,000 contributor, but everybody's gotten behind Florida House.
People want to do things this way. They don't want money to go to government and then come back to them in some restricted and regulated way. So this is an experiment, sort of right in the shadow of giant federalism, of people doing something by the people, for the people.
Florida House is a showplace, but more important, it's functional. One of its functions is that office away from the office mentioned by Mrs. Childs.
Hello, is the Delman there, please? Would you please have her call Joe Marinelli at the Florida House? I'm using their facilities. Thank you very much.
And large groups are accommodated. Seminars and educational programs are set up for business, professional, and social organizations and students, grade school to college, who also may meet with their senators and congressmen. One group from Miami had a chat with a senator's wife, Mrs. Richard Stone, who is also the volunteer vice president of Florida House.
I do come here, and I love to bring visitors here, and I'm just very proud of it. I feel very lucky, you know, to be able to show this off as our state house. And I just think it's great. And we've had other senators here. They all love it. They would like to have it for their state. But truthfully, the timing is not right now for other people. The economy is too bad. And had this been started, you know, a year or two later, it would have been very difficult. We are just lucky.
The menus of the Capitol Hill area, I thought you might be interested in.
Tired tourists are common sights at Florida House. Tourists who want to rest for a few minutes and possibly find out where to go for lunch or dinner.
So you might like to look through this folder. There are different price ranges. This is a particular one is the Polynesian restaurant, and then Jenkins Hill is one of the most popular historic type places here. Some of the presidents have eaten there, etc. And then there's Mike Palms, which is a general good restaurant for lunch. But if you'd like to just go ahead and look through those yourself, then I'll be happy to give you any other suggestions.
While the house is of, by, and for Floridians, its architecture and decor are of a different time and place. A deliberate decision by Mrs. Childs and the Board of Trustees.
Wonderful rattan and Florida decor. But it occurred to us that the whole purpose of the house would be for Floridians who come to Washington to experience the Washington scene, a great many of whom have never been inside of a Georgetown townhouse or a Washington townhouse, which is peculiar to this area. So we decided that we would decorate it in the style of the 1870s, when the house was in its heyday, in its glory. So that's what we did, and so many people have contributed because they had pieces or gave us period pieces that would fit into the use of the house. So we've gone in that direction, but the house, while it is beautiful and people are so proud of it, it still is very functional, and we've managed to use the kind of furniture that helps it to function. The wonderful Chippendale bookcase was given by the city of Gainesville. They gave a gala benefit and raised the money for this very important piece of furniture, which we're using now. Also, this mirror is, this pier glass mirror came from the Capitol, and it was brought here in the days when Senator Reynolds owned this house. And the only reason it was here, because the house had been turned into apartments and badly kept up, was the fact that it was too big to go out a door, so it was not stolen or taken from the house. This painting that was done by Frances Wolfson of Miami is superb, and we were so happy to get something of this quality so early on in the house. She did it especially for the house, and it is of mockingbirds and orange blossoms, which are the two symbols of the state of Florida. And it's done on silk in the classical Oriental tradition. We needed a window treatment, obviously, because there were so many windows, but we didn't want to blot out the view of the Capitol, which every window has from Florida House. And the Associated General Contractors of Florida donated these shutters, had them made, had them hung, and we are eternally grateful. And everyone who has seen the house since the shutters are put up, we are so happy with the look that they give the house. And they are what was used in that period of the late 1800s.
The future of Florida House extends beyond its present function as an educational, informational, and hospitality center. Mike Mullen hopes a scholarship program can be established one day.
We'd always hope to see either foundation money or other funds come into Florida House, that we could have a scholarship program whereby high school seniors could get scholarship money for either college expenses, or, for instance, we could have 8 high school seniors in Washington for a month, and they would do an internship type of thing and have a complete educational program.
We're trying to interest the business people in Florida in this. We want them to see it's a two-way thing. We're always going to have to be raising money, but if we can get the last part of the mortgage paid off, I think it'll be self-sustaining just from small donations from people.
I don't think any of us really realized that this idea was coming into being, and there was no holding it back, and we just sort of sat back and watched it get better and better than any of us had ever. We were all really limited in our thinking about it, but it has grown with the combined effort of all these people into something that far surpassed what any of us thought would happen. We have a marvelous constituency now of people who have been to this house and who are proud of it and love it and are proud of what Florida has done right here on the corner of the Capitol.
If you visit Washington during this bicentennial year, use Florida House. It's yours. For information or to make a tax-deductible contribution, write Florida House, number 1 2nd Street Northeast, Washington, D.C., 20002. This program is a presentation of the Storer Broadcasting Company, with headquarters in Miami Beach, Florida.
When you visit the Capitol in Washington, you have a friend just down the street at Florida House, your embassy in Washington. Rhea Childs is the volunteer president and one of the founders of Florida House.
We hope that it would provide the comfort and the information and the feeling of a home away from home that embassies, foreign embassies, create for their people who come to this country. There was no place that I saw where people from each state could come, and they actually own this government. So our intention was not to decorate this in the Florida decor. It was our intention that it be an experience for people coming from Florida to see what the inside of a Washington townhouse was like. Through private donations from the private sector, this house has been provided by the people and for the people of Florida. We're proving you can do something without the federal dollar right here in the shadow of the Capitol.
Florida House is your rest stop in Washington. Use it during your next visit. For information, call or write Florida House.